Is it on? Okay, yeah, I think so. Okay, so anyways, gratitude and grand rising. It's Shay Seeking, and yeah. So again, it's so hot, like it's so hot and humid here in the Midwest. I don't even know really what to do at this point, and I'm still calling myself trying to sit out here in this sunroom and like enjoy my time, but yeah, I don't know. It's really kind of unbearable. Like I don't like this kind. This kind of hot is what I don't like. So anyway, so I was sitting there braiding my daughter's hair last night, and we were trying to find something to watch or whatever on YouTube, and I noticed that Fat Albert was on there, and I don't know what made me click on it or whatever, but I clicked on the movie. We sitting there watching it, and like I don't know, I think I cried like 5 times while I was watching that movie. And it's just like, I don't know, like, I don't know, I was like taking it, maybe I was going a little bit too deep with it, right? Because of, you know, again, we're dealing with a time when people are dealing with, you know, spirit guides and, you know, different energies and stuff like that. And so, soul siblings and things like that. And so, you know, I had when I first started watching, okay, so like in case you don't know what the movie was about, it was about a girl, and she was I guess lonely, maybe, right? Because her mom worked a lot. Again, I don't even think the mama came in the movie. I don't think she was there. Never. I don't think she showed up. Not one time. And then that made me think also about like Nickelodeon and stuff like that, in movies that used to come on, those things where like the parents, you could only see their hands and their body. Like Tom and Jerry, you could only see the lady's bottom part of her body. And then like how like children had so much freedom or whatever on these shows. Like you never really got a chance to see the parents. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I just thought about that. You know, I had thought about it before, but that came to mind. But anyways. And so she was like kind of like the odd one out, you know, at school and things like that. And one day she came home and she was watching, I guess, the show Fat Albert, and she started crying. And when she was looking in the TV, they saw her and they were like, oh, what is that? You know, and they thought it was a monster or whatever. And they said, no, it's a girl and she's crying. And so Fat Albert was like, oh, we have to go help her. So he came, you know, they came through the TV, and you know, it was just this whole like, what? You know, and then she kind of let them come along with her, right? Like on her day-to-day kind of thing. And they were like, you know, kind of embarrassing her. Like she would be like saying stuff or whatever, and it would be sounding weird, you know, and people would be, it would draw attention to her, and it made her uncomfortable. You know, they were going around like telling everybody like, oh, you know, we're here to help our friend. I mean, we're here to help Doris. She needs some friends. And so they tried to, you know, get her involved with people, but she just was like a hermit, and she just didn't want to, you know, and she felt good about like being with herself or whatever. But I guess, you know, like throughout time, I guess they helped her tap into something that was a little bit deeper in her, like to get her to rise, right, to a certain level. You know, and once I started looking at it, really, I'm thinking like, are we talking ascension? Okay, hopefully I can just add this in to the video without having to redo it or anything like that. So so yeah, so at this point I'm looking at this movie, I'm like, hold on. You know, is this like something that has to do with like ascension? You know, so I had to go ahead and count the extra characters. I had to go ahead and count in the characters that were with Doris throughout the movie. And then I guess there were like, you know, she had her somewhat bullies or whatever in the movie. But then they had their bullies or whatever that they also had to deal with at the junkyard. And it's like the junkyard reminded me of like the base. And then they left the little dude, you know what I'm saying, to fend for himself at the base, at the camp or whatever. So, I don't know, just watching the movie, you know, and it's like seeing how everybody kind of played a role to push something forward, or they had something to offer to kind of show her, like, they had something to offer to either people around, like I think it was like with Fat Albert, he ended up falling for Doris's adopted sister, and then they had Omarion playing like a kind of bully dude or whatever with his friend, and you know, they were just like poking fun, you know, at Fat Albert or whatever about his weight and stuff like that, and can he keep up. But like there was a part when they did a race on the racetrack, because a lot of it was about track or running track, right? So the running a race even. So I'm just thinking like, I don't know, I think this is symbolic to something something or whatever, right? So yeah, so they ran a race, you know, he challenged him, you know, to a race. He kept picking on him, whatever, challenged him to a race, and it just so happens that, you know, Fat Albert won the race, and it kind of like he did it with ease, you know, like he, you know, and many people would have said, you know, they were rooting for him, I guess, because they felt bad, maybe because he was Fat Albert, because he was fat, maybe, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, like, he was kind of like, yeah, so, yeah, this is fun, right? You know, he was just like running with ease and talking and speaking and everything while he's running without being out of breath. And the dude is looking at him like, what? Hold on, what? How did you even do that or whatever? So, you know, I don't know. I think it was a good, and my daughter, you know, she don't really watch TV. And, you know, for her to be younger and for her to be watching it, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I hope she's learning like some kind of lesson or whatever, you know, from the movie. But yeah, like, and then it was funny because like there's a, I don't know, like when I think about, I don't even know what to call them, like, those that I think, you know, and people, you know, might say like archangel this and that or whatever, you know, and again, all of this I always look at, I don't know, it referring to something that's internal as well. So even just dealing with just like, let's just say just the chakras, right? So, you know, I relate these things to energy, you know what I'm saying? But again, that energy can be conducted in a sense on earth within other people that are in this realm right now. You know what I'm saying? People that you never would even imagine. So, or you always knew you resonated, or there was something about that particular person or whatever that drew you towards them or their energy or whatever. And so, you know, I don't know. I just thought the movie was a lot more about some things. But like during, I guess maybe because of the type of work that I've had to do on self, that, you know, knowing that I've done this other work or whatever, I might not have been aware that that type of work was going on. But I value and appreciate and, you know, reciprocate or send out that type of, I don't know. It's like these other parts of me that I didn't know that I was transitioning or going through while I was doing this work. They matter still like as much, right? So, you know, although in the show you're not really paying attention to all of the characters all the time, they have their little parts where they come out and do something. But of course, Fat Albert and then the one guy, I cannot remember none of their names. I'll just tell you that right now. With the hat, the one that always wears like the Kango hat, stuck out to me because I think the energies that I felt like I radiated with for the longest amount of time that sent the most powerful message, I think, is because I needed to really work in those particular areas. They stood out, right? And so I noticed something because I guess being somebody that is a seer, you know, and other people that have like other abilities to see or just look at something a little bit deeper or draw something a little bit closer, or like even when it comes to like manifesting, it may have something to do with other things. It may have something to do with just being like a divine match, a link that has been, maybe you set up, again, I'm starting to believe this, or someone else set it up or moved it in the direction throughout time because they knew we were going to need these type of boost of energy at this time. And so, I still can't get it right first. You know, I think it really has something to do with the heart chakra and something to do with something up here. Maybe the crown. But I don't know. Those are the connections with that type of energy that I felt resonated for a longer time. And I felt closer, like I really was seeing, you know, all around that energy. Okay. And so, you know, I don't know, the movie, in a sense, that just reminded me of that. But then, you know, like I said, going through these emotions and digging through all of this stuff, it can bring up different types of emotions that you're going through, again, while you're dealing with these energies. And love is gonna, you know, be one of them, right? In a certain way of seeing or understanding, and in seeing yourself. So like, even at the end, you know, although Fat Albert did fall, you know, you would think that he liked Doris for a second, but really he was like a best friend. But really, we found out when Fat Albert went to Bill Cosby's house, right? And he said he wanted to stay in this realm. He don't want to go back. And he said, no, you're going to turn into dust particles. You know, then that dust made me, matter of fact, right now, just made me think about something I was just reading in the Bible. Like, even if, like, these particles or whatever, if we think about it in the sense of this thing being spread with Christ consciousness or something like that. Again, we're just using this as a general term. People are going to, you know, say what they want. It's either going to resonate or it's not. So he told him, so you had to go back. And then he told him, you know who where'd you come from? And he said, North Philly. And then he said, oh, what's the girl's name? What do you mean you met a girl? You mean there was a girl on the TV and you saw her, like, I guess she would have been in the sky to them, where they were on her TV, like in the cloud. And it's like, he was like, so you mean to tell me that you saw, Bill Cosby's like, you mean to tell me that you saw her spirit through the television and you were able to connect? And he's like, yeah, you know. And then, you know, it kind of stopped there, and, you know, they were faded, right? Or fading away because they were staying too long. And so again, I think that's where that whole some kind of feeling of me feeling like, lots of times, like, oh, I feel something leaving. And then sometimes, like, no. Like, and it, you know, like and again, I know it has something to do with the work that I'm doing within, but it also has something to do with the energy, because, you know, I learned to not be upset and not cry and not be this kind of way about it. Like, even with the sister in the movie, she came to a point where she was, I don't know, I guess you could say she was dating. She was pretty and everything. She was dating Fat Albert. And, while he was building her up, she was building him up. And what was I gonna say? I guess it came to a point where she realized that they were gonna have to leave. Now Doris knew that they came through the television, but she didn't know, and she didn't believe it when she told them, when they tried to tell her. But so when he said that he had to go or whatever, she really thought, you know, she's like, yep, you know what, just like anything else, just like anybody else that comes in, you know, they leave out or whatever. So again, that's making me think about that whole childhood trauma kind of thing that people may go through. You know, again, and digging there for me, you know, it made me dig a little bit deep, because I don't know, I was getting some kind of sense. Now, I mean, I kind of asked around a little bit, maybe I didn't ask enough. But, you know, I just was questioning, it had me questioning, who the hell am I? Where did I come from? Are these my parents? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I had to go through this whole thing, and I'm still like, is somebody hiding something from me? And, you know, I don't want to have like an issue where I'm like, like having trust issues, but I'm just someone, again, and that's the thing about a seer. Like, people tend to judge people that see or share like I do, you know? I think what is this book right here? Something about the divine. It just says here, welcome, listener, seeker, and speaker. And I'm just thinking, like, why do I have to justify what I do? You know what I'm saying? Everybody, this is YouTube. We come on here and you talk about what the hell you want to talk about. And so, you know, for me, you know, it still feel like, you know, some of us are connected on a different level. And so we may partake in being able to see, you know what I'm saying, some kind of way into each other's so-called reality. And I think that's a part of it that I don't know. Because I think not everybody is looking to be helpful. Some people are looking so that they can figure out a way to take advantage or use or misuse or, you know, things like that. And I really do feel that. So like even just being someone who is an empath or empathic and someone who is able to see and have like these kind of abilities where you can look at somebody just through their energy and tell something, and if source is trying to relay something to you, you can kind of see exactly who the key players are in that whole thing. Like when it's talking about and for me it works better on other beings on this realm. But again, when it came to me dealing with, I'm thinking like, where am I at right now? Am I dealing with this chakra, or am I dealing with this type of energy? When it comes to being within and dealing with soul siblings, sometimes I can't read, right? But I can read people by just walking into the room, okay? I can feel things. If something comes up, universe will start to, and source will start to show me certain things to point out who's the who. And, you know, I have to figure out how to put all the clues in. But again, some of us, you know, deal with stuff more, again, like I said, in the spiritual realm. And it's probably because we have to do more spiritual work for certain reasons that are we're not gonna benefit from learning those things when it comes to a worldly way. You know what I'm saying? We're going to benefit more from going deep down in the root and dealing with it from there first, you know? And so, I don't know. We're all over the place, but back to the sister. Okay, so I guess, you know, she was upset and everything, and she was like, oh, you're just leaving or whatever, just like everybody else does. So that was another thing, you know, that made me think. Because, you know, the first energy, like what I said, when this first thing started happening, when I noticed it, now I think it might have been going on longer, but when I first noticed, no, this is something else. What the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with something over here. You know, there's been times when I feel like I was resonating in that energy, but then it went away, and it was like a gut-wrenching, like, no, come back to me. And then, you know, there's times when I felt like I knew it had moved on, or I had moved on, maybe to another place of development. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to kind of get used to that energy, and then, you know, feeling that, sensing that energy even on this realm from within. And like even when it comes to other energies of other people that clash or help to mold that. And so like I kept feeling detachment, you know, but again, you know, like I knew I had to do that inner work with that, but then also being someone that, again, I feel like some of us are being observed, right? Maybe this is some kind of test or some kind of something, right? And so with that, I don't know. It's just been it's been something. It's just been something to go through, and that movie just reminded me a lot. And I think I wanted to move on to the fact of talking about, like, when it comes to that first energy, it was a more balanced awe, right? It was like something that was like awe, and it kind of just was like flowing through and fluid. And again, now that I'm realizing, it may not have been like shifting through these different layers and going through these different dimensions. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to, again, for me, I feel like I got confused sometimes. But at one point it was just like, everything was just like flowing. So, and I was just like, you know, like I was just like on cloud 9 or just like high or something, all day. And I just was like flowing and going, right? But and then I started to, once I got all in the collective like that, then I started to want to go ahead and move into the direction of getting back into my creativity, right? You know, but then I'm someone that likes to sit in that energy. And so it can also be a blockage for me when it comes to anything else, because sometimes I can just sit in that energy and just be like, And I don't want to do nothing else. It's kind of like a distraction for me because I'm just like geeky like that, I guess. That I just like to just analyze what's going on. How am I feeling? What does it make me feel? You know what I'm saying? So I can overly or overthink. That was another thing I think that popped up a lot that I felt like I needed to, you know, work on. So yeah. And then the other energy, again, and I relate that energy to Fat Albert, right? And then the other energy was more about like opening up that heart chakra probably. And, you know, dealing with the one dude, like I said, we're going to just call him Kango. Or Sweater Boy. We'll call him that. I can't remember his name. And when he first came out, like he was looking at all the girls, you know what I'm saying? He wanted to look at, you know, the cheerleaders and stuff. And he's just like, oh man, you know, let me go over here, let me go over there. But, you know, and Doris had the closest relationship though with Fat Albert. And then by the time the end of the movie came and Fat Albert switched up on Doris and stopped being so worried about Doris, he was worried about Doris' sister. And for me, on the movie, it was like a smooth sailing kind of thing. But for me in real life, I'm thinking like, when it's dealing with that energy, I'm like, wait a minute, but you came to help me. You came to help me. What are you doing? You know, and so, I don't know. Okay, so yeah. All right. But then I saw also, right? I saw also an energy that has to do with that when it comes to the girl. I'm like, okay, in this movie, the girl, you know what I'm saying? Because I be thinking time travel, all kind of things, right? So, you know, in the movie, when it comes to the girl, she was real sweet and everything. But I'm thinking I see the same girl in real life that's real sweet, but I see something else underneath it. And so it's just like, you know, like, I don't know. But, you know, like how everybody didn't like Doris. It was like she felt like everybody hates Chris or something. You know, so everybody didn't like her. But everybody kind of did pay attention to her. Do you see what I'm saying? Like she was somebody. But the world wanted her to feel like she was nobody. And the whole time she like, I don't need nobody. Like they wanted her to go to the party. She like, I don't want to go to the party. And then, you know, the last minute they wanted to go to the fair or whatever. And she decided to go ahead and have fun and go to the fair. And when she went to the fair, she was sitting down with the dude with the sweater. And then he was like, hey, you know, if I was to stay here, what was I going to say? If I was to stay here, would you go out with me? And so she's like, huh? And I guess, and I think she did say, oh no. She was like, well, you know, we're already on a date. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess. You know, he was real cool and everything. But like, I don't even know why when I was watching that part, that Drake song came on. Like, I don't know, in my mind it clicked. Like, I don't even want to go back home. Okay, I can't sing, but you know what I'm saying. That part. And so, I don't know. It just made me think about something. You know, like, that kind of, it made me think about, oh, wait a minute. like, okay, don't trip this time. You know what I'm saying? But it just made me think about just like how I feel like the guides or whatever can come and go, right? And so I felt like, again, sometimes I get this feeling where, oh, someone is leaving. I can feel something shifting or something is leaving. Maybe I don't need it anymore. And so me pulling it back in is making me have to go through these obstacles that maybe I already went through and I don't even need to go through again. And I just need to go ahead and just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to hold on to everything and collect and collect. And so, again, I think that is what it is. Because, again, I'm somebody I think I do love kind of hard. And when I love somebody, like, I want to protect. When I have a certain kind of energy, I'm liking it. I'm feeling it. Leave me alone. Get out my vibe. I'm protecting this energy here. So, again, that's another part of, like, I think being on your own or wanting to be by yourself. And a lot of people see it as a problem. But, again, some of us, I don't know, we just, I guess it's something that is about us that we can do well. You know, and outside looking in, people might still say, no, you still need that. But I don't know, like even with Doris at the end of the movie, she really didn't, you know, she showed that her and the little push, right? Because everybody else had went back in. Like I think 3 of the boys had went back into the TV and 2 or 3 of them stayed out, right? But again, it reminded me too, because when they went back in, they forgot the stuff that they had learned. They were so excited about the stuff that they had learned while they were in our world. Like the one dude learned how to talk. The one that didn't know how to talk. The other guy with the mask over his face, Marcus Houston played that character. He took off his mask or whatever. And he noticed he had a nice face. And he noticed he know how to read. You know, he liked to read or whatever. I don't know. This just remind me of really like a ascension. It really does. And so some stayed behind, and then the other 2 went back, I think. And then that left, the other 2 or 3 went back, and then that left Fat Albert. And he needed to explain to Doris, okay? And then he also needed to be there one last time, even though his health was failing, and he was gonna, you know, and that is like that, you know? Like, I don't know, going through this whole thing has just been like that. Like, I think I've been having like a feeling about death, because like, and I think I was just like a little bit more concerned, because like I know people explain their experiences, but for me, like there's no one to talk about, you know, the experience, because I feel like everybody have their own way. I feel like everybody has their own way that I'm recording something, I don't want you in it. All right, so again, you know, it's just been that whole feeling of the death of something, you know, like I said. And it might just be like the feeling of knowing that there's going to be an absence. Okay? But again, you don't, it might be a point where like you've already passed that, you know, leave it behind, you know, go ahead and move on to the next. You know, you don't want to get stuck in a certain way or a certain way of thinking, right? So, you know, it was that part. And so again, he came back and he was really weary, and, you know, he was really sick and his health was deteriorating. But he had to go and push her one more time at her last track meet. And I think that, you know, even, I can't remember, like, I really didn't understand that one part about Doris and the sister. She was in a certain position with the race. And I can't remember what exactly it was. I thought that maybe she was the one that was like the starting line. I don't know. I don't know nothing about track, really. So I felt like she was in a position where she wasn't normally, where she was saying, when Doris looked at her, she's like, what? Why would you do that? What are you doing? And I don't know if it was, like I said, if she was in a better, higher position, or she had set it out or whatever. And maybe Doris felt like she needed her there to run this track. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm thinking about it, that maybe is what it was. And, you know, and Fat Albert was, I guess, letting her know to ask her to stand out or sit out so that Doris can kind of regain her confidence in herself again. Okay? And so the sister sat out. And then she ended up running a race, and he was rooting her on and everything. And I think, yeah, she won. You know what I'm saying? And so after that, you know, they kind of got back, and he went back into the TV or whatever. And, you know, still this whole time, the sister wasn't believing that they came out of the TV. But as soon as they got back to the house, one of the characters came back in, halfway in, and was talking. Yeah, and then it scared the sister. She was like, oh my goodness, like, oh, y'all wasn't lying. You came out the TV. And so, you know, whatever. So they kind of just said, you know, whenever it's good to have this friend or somebody that you can lean on, you know, for certain, you know, whatever. And so it just, yeah, for certain things or whatever, and just to have that connection or whatever. So again, you know, it made me kind of just look at, like I said, different types of connections, you know. And again, it made me think a lot about companionship. And, you know, because going throughout these obstacles and throughout this journey, you know, sometimes I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm just like, so like, like I felt like different types of feelings towards this energy or these energies, like, you know, I've explained in other videos or whatever. And so, you know, I don't know, I guess I'm just ready, like, you know, like to just do me. And like, me is all over the place. And again, on this platform, it's going to be all over the place. On anywhere I go, it's going to be all over the place, because I have many pieces to me. I mean, I wouldn't call it split personalities, but I'm just like a person. I could be funny sometimes. I can be this way. I can be, you know what, sometimes, you know, and that's what I'm saying. There's many pieces of me. I like to call them the pieces of me. And, you know, like that we do come on here and we share a part of ourselves. But again, some people look at it as more professional and they don't share parts of themselves. But then, you know, other people may be on the outside looking in, and for some reason they have something that they feel like you're not sharing, or you know, they need to know about you. And most of these people are people that's not even like really supporters, you know what I'm saying? So they may just be watching at a distance. So I feel a lot like people be like, you know, be yourself and stop doing like this and whatever. But again, for somebody like me, I'm showing you the part of me that I want to show you on here. You may not see, but then again, you know, you have technology again where people can invade, you know what I'm saying, and use other kind of things and stuff to get into your business and exploit you or whatever. But, you know, who can control that? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at that point, it is what it is. And if you heard something that ain't none of your damn business, you weren't supposed to be hearing it. That's what I'm saying in my own damn personal home. And so, you know, that's how I look at it. So, I don't know. So I think that's it. So yeah, everybody went back, and, you know, they were kind of just happy. And then like at the end of the movie, I think Fat Albert like poked his head out of the screen and was saying, yeah, how y'all doing? How you know, popcorn and everything. You know how they put those little skits in at the end. And it was funny because he said, oh, and that lady over there crying on the couch. You know, my daughter looked at me like, oh, you being on my nerves crying throughout this movie. And again, I'm not like soft or nothing, but I think that really it was something to me to tell me you're either almost done with your journey, you could be complete, but somebody like me, you know, I'm just kind of like this. And so again, I'm trying not to revert back. Like, I just want to just enjoy, you know, being at a certain stage or a certain point in my growth, you know, and try to just test out the waters and see where I'm at, and like go back to things that I know really matter to me and start putting a little bit more of my time into those things, and, you know, sit there and just see, you know, if there's some kind of expansion or whatever, you know. I feel like it was supposed to be like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, like meaning just like a celebration, or, you know, but again, that's something I feel like I have to find within. And it does kind of make me feel like I want to like go out for a drink or something tonight. So again, I haven't been out in a long time. And then, you know, I had to think about it. I had to think about how I haven't been out in a long time. And so, you know, I don't know, maybe I'll see what I can do, because I do feel like kind of just like going out. It's like a liberating kind of, you know, that's what I feel like. That's the pot at the end, you know, or maybe it's just like a, this, you know, that I can't stop doing. So it's just like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know what I expected at the other end, but like even a sense of like being complete, but also like a match, you know what I'm saying, I thought. But again, once I realized like it's more just still like about what you need to be doing in your development, I'm like, okay, I'm cool. So I'm feeling good about all this, you know. And it's just so funny that this movie, I ended up watching it right where I'm at that point. And it's like, are you ready to let go of that now, you know, and move on? And it's just like, No, but yeah, okay, and I can do it, and so that's it. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I just thought that the movie was, you know, real cute and everything, and it just made me really think. It just made me really think, because, you know, I think we're in some amazing times. And the reason why I talk about these things and I try to talk about them like the way that I do is because, you know, I be thinking like, did anybody miss this opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Am I the last one? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that why I feel like Truman? You know what I'm saying? Am I the last one that this has happened to? And, you know, again, it's just like a whole soul seeking kind of thing. So it made me look at just like that in a different light too. So anyways, again, gratitude and grand rising. I will see you guys soon. You know, it also made me think about like that whole thing of like giving thanks. Like, again, you know, like when I'm doing this, that's what that is. It's like pouring out. To just that energy, you know, angels, guides, ancestors, you know, everybody, because I feel like they be working hard in the background trying to get us to realize things, and sometimes we just ain't going, you know what I'm saying? And so that's just what it is. It is just like just recognize, I see y'all doing what y'all do. And you know, and that's just it. And it means a lot. Like I really feel heavy. Like, again, so I guess it's almost, is that what it is? About falling in love with yourself? Again, see? And then believing in yourself and like this whole full circle kind of thing. Is that what it is? All right, y'all. I'm leaving. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.